All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Mr. Squirrel. We're playing some more DC World Collide. And what I wanted to make this video about is how are you going to spend, how should you be spending your resources, your summons, and what are my plans moving forward? Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is you've got multiple banners here, right? I don't have my starter recruitment. Everyone has that one where you can either pick Wonder Woman, Superman, or the Flash. I'm just going to outright say go with Wonder Woman. She's a universal character. I mean, if you really want Superman, do that. I'm just going to tell you Wonder Woman will help your account way more. But again, I can't tell you what to do. I can merely just give my recommendations. Yeah. So the one that one, so that's gone, and now it's replaced by a weekly banner. Now, what is the weekly banner? So weekly recruitments, you spend 5,000 gems, and you can do this 3 times. You can 30 summons once, 30 summons for the total of the week, 15,000 gems. And you can build up pity in this banner to 150 because all legendaries are guaranteed after 150. And you can get any legendary. You don't get to pick them, but you do get to list your desired epics that you pull along the way. So every 30 you will then be guaranteed an epic, and you can designate that is shared among the epic recruitment and the weekly recruitment. So when you designate, oh, I want these as my desired epics, that also transfers to your weekly recruitment. So with that in mind, here's how I would operate personally. So if we think about this, in the weekly, in the epic recruitments, you do 40 summons, and you will get you are guaranteed guaranteed an epic. You have 2 chances to set your desired after you do 180. I think it's 150 or 180. I don't remember. It's been a little bit. And then you can designate which epic. So I would go to the full like summon until you're able to get the desired. I think it's like 180. Do your 180, get that, and then try to build your account as much as possible. I did not have the best starting luck in terms of the epics that I got, but it still worked out in the end, right? And so with that, I would think a lot about, okay, so how do I want to spend once I get that 180? Should I be investing my gems into the epic guarantee? My plan, I'd say, is you want to build out enough characters, because this is an idle game with a lot of modes. You want a breadth of characters to start with, because you have a lot of, like, characters are different. They need different things. They do different synergies. You want breadth of characters to kind of work with, right? Like Lex works really well with Jessica, the Green Lantern. And so it's like, you want dupes. You need dupes so you can progress your characters forward, right? Personally, I would summon on the epic recruitment until you have at least you want like a chunk of epics and some dupes of your epics. Do I think you should be spending a lot in here? Actually, no. And the reason behind that is that there's epics only have 4 abilities. They are eventually they are going to get outclassed by legendaries. They are just going to get outclassed by legendaries. It's what's going to happen in this game. Because a character that has 5 abilities is better than a character that's got 4. They're just doing more. For the most part, that's not true for every single character, but for the most part, that's what is the reality of the situation. So once you get enough characters, so I would not actually spend in this at all. The legendary, I did once. I did one summon, so I was like, I regret this already. Do not summon in this in the legendary recruitment. I would summon in the weekly recruitment. I actually think this is a good idea. Now, the reason you're probably gonna be like, well, Mr. Squirrel, that's a lot. It is a lot. But at the same time, here's the way this operates. You're doing, now, granted, I will say this. This is 8,000 to guarantee an epic. This is 15,000 to guarantee. You're doing double. because 8, right? 8,000 is 8 times 2 is 16. 16 is 1615, right? So like weekly is 15K. One epic recruitment, because it's 2,000 per, is going to be 8 to guarantee an epic, right? But again, coming into this issue, you're not getting, like, you don't get legendaries on your epic recruitment, and you get a ton of these purple summons. I think you get a lot of them. I would not summon on the epic recruitment. I would for a little bit. Again, you want to diversify your roster enough that like you at least have like some of your key characters that if you've seen any other tier lists, then yeah, like you want to make sure you have at least a couple really good epics. And like, for instance, who's a good example of someone, you should make sure, like here, Nightwing. He's a good one, but you can also get him for free. But at the same time, remember, you still got to race these characters up, right? That's why I have him at 1 star already. The thing with epics is you don't get past the 5-star rating until you have one copy of them. You need a copy of them to get past the 5-star rating, right? And that limits you at 120. Like he can't, Constantine right now cannot go past characters. Where is it? So you need them to have a 6 stars, which is the 1 single red star. I have Wonder Woman and Lex at 7. My goal is to get them both to 8. You want 8 where they start like really kind of like hitting into high gear. But you can't get past this 5-star until you get a copy. Like I can do this for Green Arrow because I have an extra copy of him. And so why is this also so important? Well, also, once they get to 6 stars, you unlock their badges. And I'm going to go through badges in a little bit. I haven't seen anyone talk about badges. And I had to figure this out. I had to go read some stuff. I was like, we're talking about badges. I need help with badges. I don't understand this thing. Because I couldn't even access it for a while because it takes a while. You have to get like past certain levels, yada, yada, yada. But then if we go back here, I personally, the way I am operating is I'm going to just keep doing the weekly recruitments because I'm getting those epics now. I have enough epics. Like if I look at my account, I have enough epics that I'm okay with, and then I'm just always going to try to pull for the desired ones, and then hopefully I hit them as I go through the 3 summons, the 30 summons each week, and I'm going to call it there. And that way I can work towards building up my legendaries. Because I want to get more legendaries, because again, they will outshine, and a lot of the legendaries right now I think are not amazing because they don't have the other teammates to make them amazing, right? Like Wonder Woman just works by herself. Lex Luthor works pretty much by himself. He does better if you have like Jess or other shielders, but they work really well by themselves, right? But there are other characters, like for instance, who's a good character that works, that is, I think, here's a really good character that I think will become phenomenal as we get more Frostbite characters. And there's a reason. It's because of this right here. She's a healer. So once per turn, per ally, when an ally applies Frostbite on an enemy, heal the ally for 70% of Supergirl's attack. She's a healer. If you have a team that's applying Frostbite, like right now, she works well with Bizarro and then other Superman, right? But that's not enough. There's already characters. If you see some of these characters, if you're playing some of these levels, I think Frostbite's here, so like they're in the game. They have them, and we know they're coming because their kits are like they're playable and not playable, but they're NPCs. Like they're enemies that you're fighting that have abilities and they're doing things. You can see them doing these things, and so like. Oh my God, why am I spacing out his name? I'll figure it out later. But my point is there is there's other characters here that they are going to release and that have been released in previous betas that aren't released right now because they're probably tuning them. But she's going to get way better as time goes on. So I would hold off. And again, why am I saying this? Because if we come back now, where is this all leading to the point? Featured recruitment. You want to save these exclusive tokens, the summons. I'm just going to call them gold and purple. You have your standard and limited. That's how every game does it. Your limited summons are hard to come by. In fact, I'm like prioritizing them because they are so difficult to get. So we go here for the news, see legendary progress. You need 5 out of 150. You need 150 to guarantee them. That's kind of a lot, and you're not going to get every character. You're just not. But here on the weekly recruitment, I can get closer and closer to getting those legendaries. If I just do some, once I build up to 5,000, I'm going to do my last summon here, and then I call it a day. So that is kind of how I'm thinking about this. I summon on this when I get my standard summons or the purple summons. I just throw them out when I get them. I'm not wasting diamonds on this anymore because I want my diamonds, and any extra diamonds go to the next week's weekly recruitment because this resets every single week. So you're doing 30. So if you have 15,000 diamonds that you're able to invest in, I know it's a lot of diamonds. This is something you build towards, but I would continually save and invest once you get enough epics that your account can run at least 2 separate teams. There you go. And then I would stop, and you have a dupe of one, like at least one dupe for your main characters. You don't need a dupe for, 3. I would go for 3 epics that you have a dupe of, because whatchamacallit, Wonder Woman and Lex, you just can get them for free. You free Wonder Woman I would pick up from the beginner summon, and then you can pick up her tokens from the elite banner. But again, you want to think about it like this, is that these are characters that, like Lex and Wonder Woman, I'm already getting them for free, so I don't need to invest in more. I don't need more epics. They're nice to haves as I keep buffing them up. But my goal now is to once you get at least 2 teams worth of characters, stop summoning on the epic recruitment. Do not summon on epic recruitment anymore. You're wasting your gems. You want to be putting them into the weekly recruitment. However, the weekly recruitment does not open up until you finish the beginner banner. So the earlier you finish the beginner banner, the faster you get to the weekly recruitment, and then just do the weekly recruitment and call it a day. That's where I would be summoning every week. Just do the weekly recruitment, put your diamonds in there, call it a day, bada bing, bada boom. And then save these. We don't know what they're going to do with them. I would save them. I'm saving until, I don't know if does pity carry over? I don't know. So I'm assuming pity doesn't. I'm just going to say I don't think pity's carrying. If it does, that would be amazing. I try to see if they say if pity carries about the recruitment. Desired if you are guaranteed 1 epic. They don't say whether or not that they're going to carry over. We will see. Devs, I'm just going to say this because of how hard it is to get these exclusive. I think you should carry pity. I think it should just feature recruitment. It's a new one. We get a new one. And then if I were to look at this right now, I'm at 5. I hope that next time it's 5 again. If that's at play, I think that's good. I think you've done a really good job. Then these exclusive, these feature recruitments, just because it is so difficult to get these summoning tokens. And the only reason I have so many of these right now, 32 of them, is because of the season pass thing that they had an issue with. I'd have 12 right now, right? I got 20. I'm not spending those things. They're just so hard to come by. So I'm saving these. And then I am just doing the weekly recruitment. And then as I get these, I'm going to summon on them the tickets, but I'm not actually using diamonds. Diamonds here, tickets here, save. It's the best way I can kind of say how to kind of work with your resources and your spending habits on this. That way you keep, you're maximizing gains. Yeah. And again, don't summon on everything. I like Superman. I have pretty much a burn team. That's why I have it. Hopefully I'll get the other Superman as time goes on, hopefully, but we'll see. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a wonderful day. And remember, failing is just your first attempt in learning.